Alright, we are in the Warhammer section of the store, where because we're going to talk about Warhammer. Right now, Warhammer has really blown up in popularity in the last, I don't know, since September, middle of September till, I don't know, October now. The popularity of it has really, exploded. People are constantly asking and buying at the store Warhammer. And I know there's a lot of toy collectors, or people who just started playing the video game and kind of want to collect a bit more of Warhammer because they're starting to like the franchise. And so this video is going to serve as a bridge for new collectors, for people who collect toys and want to collect Warhammer, whether it's the figures or the miniatures and vice versa. And I'll try to give some pointers and tips on how to start collecting this Warhammer, because it's a big universe and a lot of people are for the first time getting into it because of Space Marine 2. So let's dive in. Alright, first things first, let's talk about size. Specifically 6 inches, right? The bigger ones are about 7 inches. So I guess we'll start from the biggest to smallest. So Mcfarlane is at 7-inch scale, right? So it's the biggest of scales. The pros of this is, well, it goes nice actually with Marvel Legends. You can have a Cobra Commander and a Corn Berserker beside each other. And you know what? Him being in 7-inch scale to Hasbro's 6-inch scales, it works fine. You can kind of have them together in the same universe on your shelf display. The only problem is the Mcfarlane ones are, well, they are the least detailed of all the figures. And at the same time, you can't enjoy the full universe on the Mcfarlane scale because some of the things in Warhammer world are just massive. So you kind of have a Dreadnought that'll be like the actual size of a person in 7-inch scale. So you do lose that. And also the range is the smallest range. You could only have 20 different kinds of characters on the Mcfarlane range, and half of them are just Space Marines with different colors. So I don't know, some lackluster there. The next one is, well, Joy Toy, which is the most popular toy for the Warhammer world, right? They are 1/18 scale, so no, unfortunately, they don't scale too well with Hasbro because they're being little dwarfs. Takes the whole atmosphere of an 8-foot super soldier out of it. But individually, they are great. They are fully articulated, come with tons of accessories, and you can kind of make cool dioramas, which I guess I'll show some of mine, or maybe not. So for the purpose of this video, we're just going to talk mainly about Joy Toy, because that's the one that's most detailed and has the largest range available to it. And at the same time, it's a comfy price point where you won't have to be a plastic crack. It is still plastic crack, but it's plastic crack light. Let's call it that. Plastic crack light. Ooh, tongue twister. Okay, so Joy Toys, the price ranges from, I guess, $30 to $200. What's cool about the Joy Toy is you get all the teams. They are producing a lot of figures, let's just say that much, where every month there's 10, 20 figures that they are releasing for Joy Toy, and it's, they're doing a lot of Space Marines, once again, because, Space Marines! So they are the poster boy of the whole universe, so everybody wants to collect a flavor of Space Marines. But they also have Chaos, Tyranids, Orcs, and Tau, and Chaos. Yes, lots of Chaos. There's also a lot of Chaos, but Spiky Boys and Space Marines. Space Marines, but gone bad, right? Anyway, so if you just want to kind of just have a figure on your table like me, where I just have a small little display, I recommend getting something simple. Now, starting with an intercessor, which is just type in intercessor and then choose your color, right? Your army. So if you want red, you get Blood Angel intercessors. If you want yellow, get Imperial Fist. You want Ultramarine intercessors, and White Scar, whatever color Space Marine. They're probably the cheapest one, so they're about 50 Canadian, so about 35 US, and that will probably satisfy a lot of collector needs who just want to have a Space Marine on their table, because in a void, just having a Space Marine on your table, it's cool, entertaining for you. That's all you want to go. Simple. Joy Toy are making all the Primarchs, it seems. So Rogel Dorn, Dreadnoughts, and Gilliman. So you are gonna have your chapter favorite. So if there is a specific chapter that you've already sworn an allegiance to, they're probably gonna make your Primarch. And yeah, I mean Horus is coming out, so even the dead Primarchs are also coming in. So I mean that's Joy Toy. You know, it definitely feels in that middle tier where you just want to collect some Warhammer stuff, and that's why I recommend. Also, if you're just into Space Marine 2 part of it, you can also just get your character in Joy Toy. Blade Guards. There's some Cadian troops if you want. Yeah, essentially you can get the exact character that you are making in Joy Toy form. If you just want to, whatever class you're playing, tactical, bulwark, and snipers, whatever, they're making it in Joy Toy. So you can probably just find your character you want, type in the weapon you want, and you'll be able to find it. Otherwise, they're also releasing Titus and the other two schmucks that are with him. I forgot what their name was. Carrion and Gabriel. Yeah. One-armed guy. So they're also making these figures. Currently, these figures are pre-sold out, but like I said, Warhammer's been very popular right now at the store, and it's hard to predict the demand. We've been only selling not Joy Toy, but the Games Workshop figures, miniatures, at our store since the beginning of this year. And in September and October, we've sold more than the previous 8 months put together. So it's booming quite well. So that's why I also had to make this video. Let's see, where else do we? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Joy Toy, 7 inches, scale. That's off topic. I know some people army build Joy Toy, which I think at that point, if you're going to army build, you should probably get into the hobby section, which I'll show you next, is the miniatures. I don't know, it's a bit more manageable in space, but if you want to make a full army, all the power to you. But I think this is like the middle section where, you play the game, now you have a miniature. It's kind of like you can treat it really like a Funko Pop kind of way, where it's like, it's an articulated, looks great, it comes fully painted. You don't need to, commit more than this. Just have a guy choking another guy and you'll be done. You can get your favorite character or a character that you play. You'll be good done with it. Next is the pure high quality crack, the miniatures. All right, bring in the chair because we're gonna have a talk. So you're still watching the video, and you want the pure stuff. And this is gonna be like the warning that your parents should tell you, like, don't do drugs. This is the hardest crack cocaine you'll ever have. So Warhammer, the miniature game, made by Games Workshop, the owners of the IP. Alright, so don't let the paint scare you. Don't freak out about like, oh, there's so many armies, which army? And no. I would say keep it simple. Don't try and be competitive in this game because it ebbs and flows, the meta game of it. So those who don't know, it is also a board game. So there are big complex rules, and I mean recently they just released a new edition actually, and they tried to make it as simple as possible to get as many people. They made it beginner friendly really. Who were a bit worried. It's a mixture of chess and Risk together. So if you can get your head around Risk and chess, Warhammer is just a slight nudge above that, just combining strategy and the risk of when you roll a dice, there's a percentage, right? So what I would say is, now that you've decided to try the pure crack cocaine, is to choose your army. It's probably the simplest way. Best way to look at it, just look at YouTube, see all the armies, because they're all represented in the game more or less. You can also try Games Workshop's website and just click on 40k and see the Xenos, Chaos, and Space Marine armies, and choose which army you want to start this game with. So, to be the best value, because we're all about Value Town here at Toy Snowman, is something simple called a combat patrol. So every army has a combat patrol. Combat patrols are a really good starting point because the price, right? You save about 30% on average when you buy combat patrol, rather than buying all those figures one by one. So it's also a pretty good chunk of models, rather than just slowly buying piece by piece. So you start off with combat patrol, and you can just look at it. It gives you a good look of the army. So it's like Tau, you get like robots, or the communists, you get the robots, the planes, the drones. You get what you want from that army. And Eldar, they have like the raiders, and 2 transports, because that's how the army plays. So it's a good starting spot. Next is if you wanted to paint. Now, don't look at like 1,000 paints. Honestly, best way is actually just YouTube. Most armies need maybe 5 to 10 paints in total to paint. Some even less, like if you're collecting the Necrons, which are like robots, Judgment Day robots from Terminator. I think they're like 4 paints really. It's like metal, a wash, and maybe some green stuff to make the green effects. Definitely one of the easier armies to paint. So I mean, just go watch a YouTube video of that army and the scheme you want, and it takes about, I don't know, you can just look and see, and then you can choose your paints, because honestly there's a lot of paints, but you don't need them all at all to yeah, like I said, you need between 5 and 10 paints, and you can probably paint your whole army using those 5 to 10 colors as a start anyway, because you can get tabletop quality looking miniatures, and you can be somebody like me who just doesn't really have patience. You can still manage to do it. As far as playing the game, if you wanted to play the game, there is something called rule books and text. Really, the rules, you can kind of learn it online for free. There's no need to get the rule book, unless if you really wanted to get into the game with a friend. Alright, so let's say you've, especially since you're playing Space Marine 2, it's highly chance that, you're playing a group game, so you're playing with a friend, or a friend or two. And they have starter sets that are 2 players. So there are 2-player starter sets. It comes with Space Marine, so one of you will probably like Space Marine, because they are the poster boy of the game, so popular. And the other one's Tyranids, which are the bugs that you keep killing unendingly in Space Marine 2. So maybe one of you will take that, and that's a really good value because it comes with rules, comes with 2 almost full armies essentially to play the game. All you need to do is just add a little paint, and that's also like another recommendation I want to say for new people if you want to start is if you want to start the game, get the starter box. Really, it's simple. It's the easier answer to all this. The only downside is if it's not an army that you want to collect, then I would definitely not recommend getting the starter box, because the starter box only has those 2 armies. Where do I start? As far as extra stuff, honestly, like clippers, like me, I was using nail clippers for the last 10 years until I decided, you know what, I'm gonna buy a real one, because I started doing crack cocaine, and so I got nippers. But honestly, you can just use nail clippers or just manual bending of the parts. Some things do need super crazy glue, so you can get crazy glue at the dollar store, and you can glue them together. Also, if you're doing the crack cocaine, you have to do it all by yourself, so you do have to paint it. These all come unpainted, just in case that wasn't mentioned somewhere. I hope I mentioned it somewhere. Otherwise, put this in the beginning that you have to paint them all, because they all come unpainted. They come all unpainted like this. You know what? I don't know, just add this to this video. If you buy from us regular at toysnowman.com, you can send a message, like, I don't know, 50, 60 customers. Just say message like, hey, can I have a Space Marine sprue added to my order? And I'll send this one completely free. So, I don't know, first 100 customers, yeah, just send an email to service@toysnowman.com saying, hey, I made an order, can you send me a Space Marine sprue? So I'll just send you one of this. It's just one Space Marine dude. It's push to fit, so you don't even need any glue. You can just take it off the sprue. I'll show you an example. Like, honestly, yeah, it's simple. You just take them off, you put them together. No glue's even required. Pretty easy. Just send an email to service@toysnowman.com or sales@toysnowman.com. Say, here's my order number. Can you add one of these for free to my whatever Spider-Man order? And I'll. All right, one exception to the video. I'm just going to keep the offer infinite, and I'm just not going to make it expire. So it doesn't have to be the first 100. It'll be anybody in general who watches this video. I also make it simple. I'll just put a SKU on the website, so there will be a link below that will lead to this item. You just click on the link, and rather than sending an email, so this way you can just add it to your cart. It'll be free to add. Just add it to your regular order. That's all I want to say. I'll do it. That's no problem. The first one's always free, right? I started doing crack cocaine. That's how we do it. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's pretty much all you really need to know. Beyond this point, I'll make more follow-ups, I guess, and explain more of the lore and stuff. But I think right now, if you're playing Space Marine 2, I think you're already, digesting all the lore as it comes. Otherwise, here at Toy Snowman, what else is it to say? But stay frosty. Start doing crack cocaine.